Three, two, and one. Hi guys, Ben Jaye here. This is Chit Chat Ep2. It's been a minute since I did any YouTube content, so I'm so glad to be back to making stuff, especially with this man right over here. I love this guy. Everyone knows who you are already, but give him a quick introduction, my man.
What's up, guys? I'm Inflake. You can call me Ilham. I'm 17, and I've been on Benji's show like 3 times now, I think. So yeah.
That's right. Yeah, no, so for Chit Chat, as you guys know already, it's pretty much an informal conversation show. I just have on some of my close friends, and we get to go back and forth about stuff we're working on, some personal things we're going through, and I just love to have a conversation with them. Me and Ilham, actually, we'll do iMessage calls from time to time. We're both in the Apple family, so sometimes I'll come home from work and sit down on my computer and just be like, hey man, can we call? And me and him will go back and forth for 30 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes, you know? So just more recently, we were talking about a TV show, Cobra Kai.
Yes.
Let's start there, man. Let's start there. How did you find out about that show, and why did you get into it so much?
Dude, I just followed the actor way before I watched the show, and then I realized it was on Netflix, and I just added it to my list during the exam period. But I never really watched it until after my exam. So yeah, that's how I found out.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you've been on Cobra Kai season 1, season 2, and then also these days, what's the other one? Prison Break as well?
Prison Break, yeah. And
Yes.
now I'm watching The Order on Netflix as well.
Oh, okay, all right. So you've been binging on Netflix then.
I've been binging, yeah.
Good for you, man. No, congratulations, because I know for your exams, they were not that long ago. That was in October? When was that?
It was October, November.
Yep, October,
It
November.
went for a week.
Yeah, you were super busy that time. You basically disappeared from social media, had to completely focus on the tests and everything. But it is completely done now, just waiting for grades, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The scariest part.
The scariest part. That's so true. That's so true. Well, and it's also just true in general, because anytime you're waiting for a result, or anytime you've done what you can do, waiting is so hard. It's easy if you can take action on something. It's oh, I have control. But whenever you can't take action, it sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the issue, let's actually dig into that a little bit more. The thing about the exams was that you were super creative, doing a lot of stuff, and then the exams hit, you had to step back from everything, and now that the exams are over, you're getting back into creating and doing stuff, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so one of the biggest projects you've been had on your plate for the last 2 months has been, drumroll, the fashion line.
Yes.
Dude, talk about the fashion line, man. How did you decide to do that?
It actually the idea came about since probably 3-4 years ago. I've already been making designs and stuff on my phone just to get an idea, and I've posted that on social media and asking people who want to buy this t-shirt if I make it. And dude, for 4 years I've posted that. 4 years I've never once made it. And people every single time I post about it, I'll hey, who wants to buy my merch? And someone will reply, dude, you said that 4 years ago. Just stop. Because I never made it. And then
so
I think because I've always wanted to make it, but I've never make it. And
okay, I've got two questions on that, man. 2 questions.
Yeah.
Look, first of all, what was the original motivation to do fashion then? You just you thought it was cool, you thought it was interesting, you saw other people doing it. What was the motivation back 4 years ago to start thinking about that idea?
I mean, watching a lot of YouTubers, they have their merch, and sometimes, Roman Atwood, he has a clothing line called Smile More.
Okay.
And I feel he spreads positivity through the motto on his shirt. So I feel I could do the same thing. And that's when I started trying designs and stuff, putting positive motivational words on the t-shirts and stuff like that. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I think that's where it started. Yeah.
That's awesome though, because I think that is really cool. I think that like it's a little bit too big for the conversation just now, but like in general, I feel like things like positivity or positive messages are kind of like classified in like the uncool zone, but it's actually like
Yeah.
it's so helpful, so productive to have positive energy around you, even if it's just on your t-shirt, you know, like small stuff like that can actually be a real big like motivator or energy for you. Okay, so anyway,
Yeah.
4 years ago, you start thinking about this, you know, spreading positivity through like t-shirts and merchandise and everything. What was it that finally made you sit down and make the merchandise?
So basically, I think I had a talk with my parents. Like we were talking about how to grow like business from music into an actual business and stuff like that. And I just threw an idea saying like, what if I make t-shirts like an actual clothing line with actual designs, you know, like kind of streetwear designs and stuff. And then they were pushing me to do it, and I found a designer. I paid for the design, and the moment I paid for that design, I knew there was no turning back. You know, I just had to do it. So I found companies to print. I found website which you recommended a website.
Right. Yep.
So
We had gone back and forth on that, correct?
yep. And yeah, I think that's basically it. It's just my parents. They were motivating me to just do it, and I just did it.
Man, that's so cool. Once again, I have to like just like give so much love and admiration to your parents because like in our conversations you've told me about like how much they've done, and also like the fact that they continue to inspire you and continue to help you do what needs done. Like I find that so remarkable, man. Like it's so cool that they would actually like sit down with you and say like, you know, how are you going to make money from this? Or like, how can you grow from this? Is that like a normal thing for them to do? Or was it just because they knew that you're into music?
I mean, it's normal, but not for us to talk like about money and stuff like that. Clothing line thing, to them it was business, but to me it was just more of people wearing my stuff. I don't really care about money. It's just how do I, you know, because starting a company you need money. So how do I use that money and to start a company that will in the end make me earn that money? You know, so it's like a balance like that.
Right.
So. Yeah, so I think doing the clothing line is a great idea. So, anyways, back to your question. It's like almost everything we talk about is music and stuff like that. So, we always exchange ideas and stuff. So, yeah, I feel like it's great that like my entire family is into music. You know.
Yeah.
Like everything, like we could literally talk about music over dinner, like anything. Literally, like I swear, dude.
Oh, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. I love it because it's the environment. That's what it is. It's the environment. The fact that you get to be in that environment 24/7 is so beneficial to your growth as a musician. Because, you know, I talk to other people who don't get to live in a creative environment or who live in even a toxic environment, and it just breeds so much unhappiness for them, you know? Like there's kids who hate their parents, but they still live with their parents, and it just makes them suffer every day, you know? There's people who are stuck in environments that are so unhealthy, and so it makes me excited whenever I see that you are living in a great environment, you know, that inspires you and helps you to succeed, because like the sky's the limit, you know, for you. The sky's the limit for you, you know?
I'm blessed.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
But then also to your credit though as well, though, Ilham, like you take action on this stuff though. You know, it's great that your parents inspire you and give you the tools you need, but you're always the one executing. So like respect to you, man.
Thank you. I mean, they were in music way before I was, but the reason I got into music wasn't because of them necessarily. Like they were the reason I'm it's still in music right now, because they push me, they tell me what they know, tell me what I need to know. But the reason I started wasn't because of them. So yeah.
Right. No, I remember we talked about that more in depth on the podcast about how they were supportive, but they were never controlling. So it was always an
link
option.
in the description, by the way.
Yeah,
Link in the description.
Exactly. Right. But I don't know. I respect their parenting style a lot. I think it's kind of hard to find parents who I respect their parenting style. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Do you see a lot of like parents who you respect the way they parent their kids, or do you feel like it's something that they need that needs improved more in this generation, this era?
I mean, I can't really say anything because like different parents have different style because of the way the kid act and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't really have a say, but I feel like whatever my parents is doing, it's definitely helping me grow and become a better person.
Yeah. No, I mean, great point. I definitely
Yeah.
don't want to cast judgment on anyone because every situation is different, like you said, and none of us are
Yeah.
perfect. We all have flaws and stuff that we're working through. But it does make me super happy, though, to hear situations like yours where I can, see that, like, it's a positive, loving environment that's helping you succeed and grow
Hmm.
more and everything. But anyway,
Do you relate to that?
congratulations. Yeah, I do, man.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, for my parents, I have a lot of respect for them. Like, they were always very supportive and encouraging of whatever I wanted to do. Even right now, I talk to my mom every single day on voice call, before I go to work. So I have a great relationship with my parents, and I think they were always very supportive. Even if they didn't understand, or even if they don't completely agree with me, they are always very supportive and
Very true. Yeah.
So, and obviously, it's different for
Yeah.
every person. Some people are super close to families, some never want to see them again. But I think that for you and me, we are very lucky that we have supportive parents. It's something that we can't take for
Yep.
granted. But yo, man, congratulations on the fashion line because it's just super cool. I love
Thank
the
you.
designs that came out. How much
Thank you.
guidance did you give the person who made the designs for you? How much input did you give him, and how much creative license did he have in making the designs?
Um, well, for most part, I like to let the artist do the work because I trust their art. But I before he started, I told him the visions I had, which is something like clouds and a lot of it. Like the moment you see it, it makes you kind of it uplifts you,
Mm-hmm.
kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a quote at the bottom there, which I gave him the three words called "It's find your way,"
Mm-hmm.
and he took that and he put his own like he interpreted that line
Yep.
and wrote an entire quote out of it. Yeah. So
No kidding.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
gave him
show the
find your
audience
way.
the design real quick. For anyone who hasn't seen the T-shirt, here it is right here. It's yeah, not gonna capture on video,
You just
unfortunately.
no, you can just pop it up on screen
There we go.
in
Just pop it up on
editing.
the screen would be a better idea. Yeah. But the design
Yep.
is super, super cool. The artist is super
Thank you.
talented. Yeah, actually, Ilham introduced me to him, and so I'm thinking about actually working with him on a future project as well because
Yeah,
obviously
and
I've been
you.
working. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you have your own clothing line, and it looks sick. I'm actually thinking of getting the hat.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I love about Ilham is that we both are super creative, and so it's fun for me and him to go back and forth on different ideas.
Yeah.
Just even if we're
No
not
matter how
working on
crazy
it.
they are.
Yeah, no matter how crazy they are. Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the cool
Yeah.
thing about Ilham is that like everything flies with him. So we have a similar sense of humor, similar value systems, and
Yeah.
so it's always totally chill. Yeah, man, the fashion line. I'm putting something together. I don't know when it's gonna be dropped in relation to this episode, but the website is finished. The first edition of designs are finished, so now it's just a matter of releasing it and putting it out there.
Yeah.
I'm curious for you though, because what you did for your fashion line is that you printed the shirts in Singapore and then sent them out to people via snail
I
mail.
emailed, yeah.
Yeah, emailed the shirt. I wish that was possible.
Google Drive.
How was that
I
process
tell
for
them.
you? Was it hard for you to do that, to manage that all, or was it okay? Did you have enough time in the schedule to manage it, fit it all in?
It's like it's the first time for me to do that, especially like mailing something overseas,
Mm.
and I didn't expect that shipping to be so much. I actually had to pay because the first person that ordered, I didn't know how much shipping was, so I went there and I totally miscalculated the price, and I think I had to pay extra just for the shipping, but it's okay, you lose
Oh,
money at first.
yeah, it's like the price of learning.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
then
live and
uh,
learn.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, I it wasn't that hard. It was just going back and forth to the um, post office and going back and forth to the company that actually prints the t-shirts and stuff. That was
Hmm.
a hassle because it takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
But other than that, not much difficulties, I guess.
Okay. All right. Good deal, man. Good deal.
Yeah.
I have two more questions about the fashion line before we can kind of move on to other topics. I think the
Mhm.
first one is: Are you thinking about Are you thinking about like about no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna ask this one first of all. How important is the fashion line to Inflake as a project? Is it something that you want to keep doing continuously in the future and like recreating and developing, or is it kind of just like a one-off like casual side thing? How does fashion play into Inflake's whole sphere of existence?
I would definitely want it to keep on coming, like in the near future and stuff. But with of course like different designs and stuff like that. But um, I don't really think I wanna associate a clothing line with Inflake because like Inflake is more of like music and stuff. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. You know,
Yeah,
I
man.
don't want it. I don't want like Inflake to be merchandise. I want it to be a clothing line. You know, but at the same time, if they listen, they hear the name Inflake, they'll think of the artist and not the clothing line. You do get what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. You
Yeah.
and me talked about it personally before on the iMessage before, but yeah, it's hard to think about that stuff, man. It's hard to think about like the title and the things that are connected with that title and the
Yeah.
connotations of it and like what's the name for this project? What's the name for that project? Are they separate? Are they together? What's
Yeah.
the connection? And it's not only hard for us as creators to organize that stuff, it's also hard to deliver it in the right way. How does the audience separate it and how does it come across to them as well? Have you had that same kind of issue with like the Nolan's Festival, or was that pretty easy for you to have as like a separate thing, not directly related to Inflake as a musician?
Oh, that Nolan thing. Wait, what's the question again?
So like for you as a person, for you as Ilham, like you're in Flake,
Mhm.
and then you also have like worked
Yeah.
on the Nolan's Festival as well. For anyone who doesn't know the Nolan's Festival, by the way, it's like a festival that Ilham and a bunch of his buddies put together. It's an online festival. It's super lit. But for you though, Ilham, did you see that as like a direct product of Inflake making that festival, or was it more of like Ilham as a person making this festival?
Uh, it was more of Ilham and Vignesh, which is Cubic,
Yep.
and Nashville,
Okay.
Aiden.
Okay.
So it wasn't just me because I definitely couldn't have done it all by myself. It was a collective, it was a collective effort
Yep.
made by the three of us.
Yep.
And I don't think it was Inflake doing that because I'm Ilham and I'm Inflake, but Inflake is Ilham. You know, I'm like hi. I don't know.
Ilham is Inflake,
So,
but Ilham is also just Ilham.
Yeah.
So Inflake is separate from
Yeah.
like your complete identity. No, I mean it totally makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I am curious though, like real quick, and I know it changes as time goes by. Right now, how would you define the values of Inflake as a musician? What are like the core principles of Inflake as a musician to you?
Positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Kind. Um, I would say humble.
Humble as well.
Am I?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you would say that as you're saying humble, like, kind of proves it.
Alright. I think those are probably my core. Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest ones. No, and I agree, and I definitely think it's reflected through everything that you do as Inflake, for sure. Yeah, a lot of brand consistency
Yeah.
there, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Wait, can I say something?
Go ahead, man.
Basically, whatever Inflake has, Ilham has it. But whatever Ilham has doesn't mean Inflake has it because I have to separate both of them. Because Ilham, like, he's probably like someone very quiet and doesn't like to talk to random people. But Inflake likes to do that. Like he would go on Instagram and just DM random people and stuff and connect. That's how I met you actually.
It is.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
What about
funny,
you?
man.
You-
For me,
Do
like,
you think like as Benjay or as you yourself?
So, for me, when I was younger, I used to think a lot more about monikers and about like stage presence and identity as like a separate thing. As I've gotten older, I've seen the importance of being transparent and being authentic. And it feels like such a headache to me personally to have like a million different monikers going around. I think that, and I'm not calling anyone out here, but I think especially whenever you're a younger musician, you know, you tend to bounce around to several different monikers before you decide on one. I know that for myself, myself whenever I got into music creation. I don't recall every single name I used, but I had like DJ Benji, I had just Benji, I had Ben Gay and the Bass Brigade was one of my one of my names. And I went through like a bunch of different names before I finally decided on the name Ben J was like
Dude,
the final one.
I went through one name.
Did
That
you
was
really?
it. Yeah, before Inflake, it was Brain Freeze, but with two I's instead of two E, and it was like Brain Friiz.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, I would get made fun of in school. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, that is so gold, man. That is so gold. I'm just laughing because it's a shared experience. Like I said, like I know so many artists that went through like 3, 5, 7 different names before they finally decided
Yeah.
on, you know, which one they wanted to go with. And so I guess for me, after going through that process, I was like, this is tiring. You know, I can't keep making a different like idea and concept for every new name. So for me right
Yeah.
now, I don't think of myself and Ben J as a different person. I really think of us as the same person. I want to be the best version of myself, and I want to reflect that through anything I do under the Ben J name. So, like, the reason I have Ben J as a little bit different from my real name is just because, like, my real name doesn't really roll off the tongue very well. It's not, to me, it's not really like something that's marketable. It's still very close to my real name, but it's just a little bit different just because I wanted, like, the stylization and the ease of memory to
Yeah.
be there. And so, yeah, for me, like, me as a person and Ben J, like 100% the same. And I just want to like develop myself and kind of reflect who I am through Ben J, you know, in every single project. But that's a good question, Ilham. Thanks for asking that. Yeah. Is it hard
You
for
asked me that. I
I
said the
did it.
same
You
thing.
countered it back. But like the fact that you countered it back was very kind. Is it hard for you to be authentic or transparent on the internet?
No, not really. I don't think it's hard at all for anyone to be authentic. But the only thing that is hard is that whether the other person thinks you're being authentic or not. Like whether the other person thinks you're being real. Because it's the internet, you can't tell whether anything is real now. There.
Damn.
So it's easy for you to be honest with everyone. Yeah, but it's not easy for everyone to just accept that honesty. You know, they just can just roll it off as a lie. Like, oh, she's lying. Probably it's fake. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. You're kind of like, yeah, this is so interesting that you brought this up. Really, it's so interesting because there was a person I knew and I was like super honest with them, and I was always very upfront and very open with them about everything. And the strangest thing to me though was that they never believed me. They never believed it was true. And it kind of frustrated me for a long time because I was like, why don't they believe me? Like, I'm being completely transparent with them.
Yeah.
They still don't believe me. And it wasn't until months later that we had I had a conversation with that person. They kind of told me that they had like a lot of trust issues because of stuff in their past. And I was like, oh my gosh, all this time I've been blaming myself like for not coming across as authentic or thinking that I was like lying to this person, even though I wasn't. And I didn't even think about the possibility that it was actually just because of their interpretation of who I was. And, you know, it's obviously that's so obvious, like, whenever you finally realize it. But,
Yeah.
but dude, that's a really good point to make. You know, I think it's difficult for someone like me because I like to be self-critical. And so I'm always looking like, how can I change? What can I improve? You know, what am I doing wrong? But there is situations like you said just now where it's actually the other person's interpretation or the other person's like viewpoint that's kind of like messing the situation up.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about you that go around, whether it's in real life or on the internet?
I think. I know, like last year, I think someone like in school said to me like I was very arrogant, kinda. I don't know, but I don't really see myself as arrogant at all because I'm not the kind of person to do that, especially like to people in real life. That because like you know how it will ruin your reputation, and I never want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely misconceptions about me, but those were just long time ago, and
Yeah.
now I don't yeah, now I just don't think there is any misconception. I hope not.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, that whole thing though is like why I try to be so transparent on the internet because, like you said, it's so
Yeah,
easy to just destroy who you are as a person because you do have like these negative parts of yourself, and if you try to hide it, like eventually it comes out, or if you show it, you get
yeah,
called out for it, and so that's why I've taken
exactly.
the path of trying to be as honest and transparent as possible. I'm not saying I'm at 100% at all, but I'm definitely trying to be as open as possible. It's a daily struggle, I think, or at least a daily challenge, to see how honest can I be today, how transparent can I be today, am I willing to share this and talk about this.
I mean, you're pretty like transparent and honest, like in my opinion, because
Mhm.
there was a lot of times where you just stepped away from Instagram, social media, and just not not be in contact with anyone because you're you're not doing too good yourself and stuff like that. And I feel that is being honest itself, because I know some people that aren't even doing good with themselves, but they still go online and pretend like everything is okay. Like if it's not okay, just say it's not okay and just step back from Instagram. And
Damn.
I feel like you are very honest with that.
Dude, thank you
Yeah.
for saying that. To be honest, that kind of touches me. Um, yeah, I know. I always feel what the reason it touches me is because I always feel a little bit bad when I disappear from Instagram, because I feel like I've kind of put myself in a position where people depend on me in some sense, and so they're kind of looking for me to be there for them, or looking for me to be sharing content with them. And like you said, like I'm a human just like
Yeah.
everybody else that consumes my content, and so there
Yep.
is times, whether it's 2 days or it's 2 weeks or it's 2 months that I'm like, yeah, I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything that I can share with anybody
Yeah.
right now. So I appreciate you letting me know about that. Have you ever had to step away from social media for a bit? I can't think of one time specifically, but I'm wondering, obviously exam season, but is there other times like whenever you did need to step away from it a bit, and did it help you?
Um, there was one time last year in August. I think I said it in your previous podcast where I
Hmm.
did a whole month
Yes, I
without
remember
social
that.
media at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you guys can listen to that by clicking the link in the description.
Yeah,
Anyways, next
exactly.
story.
In description. But since then, you
Um,
haven't really taken a step away from social media that much, then, have you?
um, I yeah, that was the longest, but right after my exam, I
Hmm.
actually took like a short break, like for a few days maybe, just to
Hmm.
clear my head. Yeah, because
Well,
I just had a lot going on in school.
no,
So
exactly. The reason I bring it up though is because like a very hot topic of the last few years is all about like social media being an addiction, or social media
yeah,
preying on insecurity or making people feel bad. I'm not really sure. How do you feel about that situation? Because there is some people in our circle, yours and my circle, that we both know that do struggle with like social media usage, or do feel like a lot of insecurity and judgment from social media, and they've had to step away from it just to try to get more clarity. Why do you think it doesn't affect you that way?
because I know that social media doesn't bring me to the grave. If I die, that thing is just gonna stay there. It doesn't bring me anywhere. Is all it does is just give you a false validity from strangers.
Hmm.
So like, I don't really, like, I use social media, but right now I'm already like cutting off. I don't think I'm even addicted to social media in the first place,
Hmm.
because I'm more addicted to producing,
Hmm.
watching Netflix, movies and stuff. So I find something else to um to keep me busy basically.
Sure, having a
So
good
yeah,
balance and a lot of hobbies, I guess, that can keep you focused
exactly.
in a good place.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, man. That's good to
Mhm.
hear for sure. I guess though, I want to
What
take
about
it
you?
for me.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I mean, same as you. I see social media as a tool, so I don't really think of it. I think like the way you described it, is it's not going to go with you to the grave. Like you understand it's a temporary thing, and I definitely have like the same kind
Yeah.
of viewpoint on it. To me, the switch that came was separating social media into consuming and creating, and this was happened for me like 2 years ago, I think. As I
Mm-hmm.
was like getting more serious about content creation about 2 years ago, I was like looking at my time, and I was like, really, I was like, damn, like I spend like 2 hours on Instagram just consuming content, and once I realized that, I was like, I gotta limit that, because like anytime I spend consuming Instagram is time I'm not creating on Instagram. And there was a conscious choice I made, like I went hardcore for like I want to say maybe a month or at least a few weeks where I did not check my feed at all. I would only be posting stuff on Instagram. And I've gotten more relaxed about it over the years, but even now, I don't enjoy consuming social media. I enjoy creating and sharing on social media. And I do consume social media. It's not like I never consume it, but I definitely limit my consummation of social media because I'd rather be creating on social. It makes me feel happier. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm doing something rather than just like taking stuff in. I'm putting stuff out and I'm, you know what I mean? So,
exactly.
So that's where I'm at with social media, is that it's just a tool, and it's about creating. It's not about consuming for me. This is where I spend my time.
I know.
But this also goes into a topic I wanted to bring up today, which is about being a lone wolf. And like you said, social media can offer like a false sense of validation, or it's definitely focused, on getting comments, likes, and shares, etc. And which we can dig into more because I'm pretty passionate about that these days. But first of all, well, just about like maybe you noticed I talked about it in my story yesterday, but I don't use hashtags on my posts anymore. And I don't know how you feel about that conversation, but the reason I'm doing that is because I feel like it's asking for attention rather than being deserving of attention in some sense. If you look at some of the biggest people who are like killing it on Instagram or social media in general, like they generally don't use hashtags because they don't need to. People just care about them already, And so for them, it's no longer about asking for attention. It's about, here's value. I've got it. Come get it, And so that's kind of what I'm doing with mine now, is I don't care about shares, comments, likes, or whatever. It's more about, hey, this is important. It's going to help you. Watch it or don't watch it. It's up to you. Next video, So I don't know. I feel like a lot of creators, I think it's a good tip for a lot of creators is to stop focusing on the validation, like you said, and to focus more on the output. What are you saying? Is it good quality? Is it meaningful?
Is it worth the like or not?
Yep, exactly. Does it deserve the like? Is it worth it, etc. So I've focused a lot more now on what am I saying? Do I resonate with this, and is it bringing value to another person? Anyway, that aside,
Dude, I've turned off.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I've turned off like notifications on Instagram just because it distracts me a lot. Like every time I see someone like my photo, I'll check it. I was like, oh, who's this? So I turned everything off. So yeah.
Good, man.
All right, back to your question.
No, good for you. That's important, and that's what we have to do. To keep our lifestyles in a good place is have boundaries for yourself. Like if you see someone's taking your distraction, like you have the ability to turn off a notification. You have the ability to lock your phone. We do need to practice a lot more self-discipline and have boundaries for ourselves to keep stuff in check. Anyway, being a lone wolf, and you talked about like social media can offer validation through comments, likes, and shares and everything, but it can also be a false sense of validation because it's just someone's opinion. It's not how you actually feel about yourself. And you've kind of been in a similar situation right now with cutting some people out of your life and spending a lot more time on yourself. Talk to us about that.
So, I mean, that thing was a long time coming. Like these people that I've cut off, they, I wasn't, I was happy whenever we spent time, I was happy. But then, I started to heard some rumors which were actually true. So then I just decided that the best way to put an end to this is for me to go my own separate way, because I know if I confront them, then something is gonna go wrong. So I don't want that to happen. So I just went my separate ways, and they realized their mistakes, because obviously, like, it's so weird because we were all so close, and one day I just didn't talk at all, and I just disappeared on the Instagram. I unfollowed all of them and all that. And they were curious, but then they knew what they did. So they didn't really come finding for me. They were just sending messages like, "Oh, why do you leave?" And I just didn't reply them.
It's like, why you left. Why I left.
Yeah.
How has it made you feel though? That's what I'm curious about. What's the emotional response from yourself now?
I mean, because it was my choice.
Yeah.
Because I have control. I was the one that wanted to separate myself from them. I didn't feel bad at all. Like, I felt better.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it right there. That's the part right there. No, I'm so glad
Yeah,
you said
because
that, because like that's the thing that we
yeah.
don't realize. When we make the choice to do something, we're giving ourselves the power, and we're
That's
not
right.
in the hands of another person, you know? And
Yeah.
it goes for
You know,
everything. It goes for relationships, business,
yeah.
everything. Go ahead, man.
I have an example. Yeah. There was one time like because in school we all had to take like an extracurriculum activity,
Mm-hmm.
and I took up football, it's soccer, and um basically I I never attended training at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would come for one training and per week, and the next week I just wouldn't come. And then one day when my coach was selecting the players to play for the school,
Mm-hmm.
I just went up to him and I said, "I'm quitting. I'm not gonna play anymore." He wasn't even gonna pick me, but I felt like, you know how
It's
like
like I
it's
did it.
better to reject. Yeah,
Yes.
it's better to reject something than getting rejected. You know,
Oh my gosh.
it's like
Yeah.
those. It's like those shows like people would just go in like, "You can't fire me because I quit."
I quit.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly. Dude, yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Yeah. So the like from that, like you get the power. You feel like you have control over that thing, so you wouldn't feel bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, right, man. Like
Yep.
it's reclaiming power. It's about reclaiming your power and giving yourself power rather than giving it away to someone else. I think that's like
Yeah.
I think that's so important in general about building happiness. Is stop giving your power away to someone else. Stop letting someone else's choices or
Exactly.
behaviors.
You are worth it.
Yeah, you're worth it, you know, and you have the ability to stay or leave and make a choice for yourself. Don't make it for somebody else. Like if you're not happy, you've got to do something
Exactly.
about it. You know, if you're not satisfied, you've got to do something about it. Stop waiting for
Even
someone
if
else
it
to do
means
it.
being alone.
Even if it means being,
Yeah.
especially if it means being alone, I think.
Yeah.
There's such a, I don't know, like, there's such a power in being alone.
Yeah, no, I've heard this saying once, and I've like literally like I think a few years ago I've heard it, and I stuck with it until now. Like the saying was, I don't like spending time alone, but I like spending time with myself.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it means the same thing, but it's just the
Different
way
perspective.
of saying it. Yeah,
Exactly.
different perspective. Yeah,
The shift in perspective. Well, I think the key thing there, though, the lesson that's being learned is that whenever you are spending time with other people in a negative connotation, like a way that people don't make you feel good or you're unhappy around them, like you're losing your energy. But whenever you choose to be alone, you're taking away the validation, you're taking away the opinions, you're getting rid of the noise, and you're saying,
Yeah.
how do I feel? How do I feel right now? Oh, I'm unhappy. You know, oh, I'm not happy with my life right now. It forces you to look at yourself and to start doing the work that needs done. And that wouldn't happen if you're still with those negative influences, you know? Because they're still
Yep.
giving you that negative input. They're still making you feel bad. It's not until you separate that you can start to say like, oh, wait a minute, like, I'm not happy there. You know, I'm not happy here. Like, what do I do next? How can I fix this? At least that's what I've noticed.
I agree.
Yeah, you know, like stepping away, you
Yeah.
can start to develop yourself more. So,
That you realize a lot of things that you missed out when you were with someone.
that's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. I'm gonna chop that and put it on social. I think so. All right, man. Let's go ahead and move to the last thing we wanted to cover today, which was all about music. What music are you working on right now? What's the schedule look like for music?
I mean, I'm still making music most of the time, but it's just whether they're gonna be released is a different thing because I've just hit like a block. Like I can't come up with anything
Wow.
right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. It's just so hard because I have something for next year, but it's not even done yet. So I'm still working on it. What about you?
Well, real quick before we jump onto my stuff, I did want to ask, how does that make you feel about not being able to create right now? Are you concerned about it, or are you kind of just like taking it in stride?
No, I'm not. I'm concerned, but at the same time, I'm I'm just finding ways to make good use of the of my time on the computer by just experimenting with different sounds. And you know how everyone has like a whole lot of plugins and samples that they just don't use.
Yes.
So yeah, like whenever I feel like a block, I would just drag in and just use any random plugins, any random samples, and see what I can come up with, or see whether I could use that in future projects. So
Oh man, I love that.
yeah.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
So yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I do hope you can make it through the creative block because we definitely need more music from Inflake, no doubt. And I know that
So
you
the
are.
reason for the
Mhm.
yep.
Good. The reason for the
The
block is
reason for
what?
the yeah. The reason for the block is basically just because there was one time, like I think 2 weeks ago, I made like a remix, and that remix, like I love it so much. But I think I showed you before.
Yeah.
But so whatever I make after that, it just seems bad after I heard that. So I just feel like, nah, this is not it. This isn't as good as that song.
Oh my gosh,
So yeah,
that's so funny. Do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing?
uh, it's a bad thing. But if you look on the good side, it's like you're trying everything. You're doing everything to improve yourself. So I think
Right.
that's good as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause I was gonna say because there's two ways to take that. Like on one side, like obviously it's never good to compare stuff, right? And so if you could take away the
yeah,
comparison, you'd be happy with what you're making. On the other
hmm
side, standards are important because standards help you to level up and improve. So it is cool
yeah,
that you've set a certain standard for yourself as far as like what you want to make or what you know you can make, I guess as well.
yeah.
And I also know that you
hmm
are working on a lot of projects for like other artists as well. So I do hope that you can get that stuff wrapped up and continue to move forward because yeah, I'm super excited. Ilham showed me some of the stuff he's been making behind the scenes, and let's just say that that stuff is like it's yeah magnificent.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As far as my music, man, like I have not been in the studio in several weeks.
Oh,
Which is like not uncommon for me. As you know, like I definitely um go through like seasons of creating. So like at one point I'll be doing a
yeah,
bunch of music, and then next I'll be doing a bunch of YouTube, and then next I'm doing a bunch of Instagram, and I'm
hmm
always like moving in those different circles. It's basically like different spaces of time or different creative outputs for me.
yeah.
That being said, I do have like 4 or 5 tracks that are like in the works, but I haven't made
hmm
progress on them. For me, the next chapter is vocals on my music, and I'm finding out
Yes.
that that's super difficult.
Me too.
Because it's like a whole new skill. It's one thing to
Yeah.
to play piano, it's another thing to produce. It's one thing to produce, it's another thing to write a song. It's one thing to write a song,
Yeah.
it's another thing to sing a song. And so for me,
hmm
I've got so many layers in there of like creating the song, producing the song, writing lyrics for the song, and then making melodies and stuff for the song. And that's what I'm really tripped
Yeah.
up on right now is crafting a good melody and crafting a good tune for the lyrics that I have already. So it's frustrating, and I'm making zero
I feel
progress on
that. Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
The most tiring part for me is just waiting for vocalists to send their vocals. Like I have all these tracks almost done, and I'm just waiting for vocalists. The moment they send their vocals, I can just start mixing.
hmm
Uh, and then yeah, the track is practically done. So yeah.
Well, I hope they can get the vocals back to you soon because we definitely need to have some more music from Inflake as soon as possible. All right, man. Is there any, by the way, before we do wrap it up, is there any like proposed due dates that you have in mind for dropping new music, or is that completely we have no idea?
Um. So as far as my own solo project, I
hmm
don't think I'll be releasing it anytime soon. Maybe next year, but as I have a very special song coming out soon, but I'm not sure when.
Okay.
It's done. It's like fully done and it's mastered and it's gonna be released soon. I
Oh
just
yeah.
I don't even know when. Yeah. So I think I'm allowed to say the artist on it.
hmm
It's Flam and Marty Lee. So it's a
Oh yeah.
three-man collab.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
So
That's one of the
yeah, I
but like honestly though, Ilham, like that's one of the coolest things about you is your ability to collaborate with other people.
thank you.
I don't know. Are you conscious of that? Because like that's one of your special skills is the fact that you're so good at communicating and working with other people. Do you think that's a
I mean,
natural thing, or is that something that you've like practiced to do?
no, it's I think it's natural, and
hmm
it's just basically knowing what other people want.
hmm
Someone has to benefit from it, right? It doesn't
Okay.
have to be only you.
hmm
So whenever you're proposing something, the other person has to benefit from it too.
hmm
So even if it's just like um, getting uh, how do I say, getting exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Even that is like um one of the big things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just knowing what other people want and just giving it to them.
And working on it with them. Okay, I see. I see. By the way, guys,
Yeah.
like me and Ilham have gone back and forth on a few tracks, and we haven't finished one because it's completely my fault. By the way, Ilham is an amazing collaborator. I'm very
No, it's not.
irresponsible and
No, it's not.
non-creative at times. So I don't know if you're ever gonna see a project from me and Ilham as far as music goes, but definitely I hope so if I can get my act together. I do take full responsibility
Yeah.
for that though.
No, me. I make some bad music sometimes.
That's not the issue. That's not the issue. I just like I haven't honestly I haven't been like that creative with music. I think like there's a lot of improvement for me that I could be doing musically, and I haven't been putting the time or effort into making that improvement. Rather, I've been focusing more on YouTube and now the fashion line as well, which takes energy away from making music and such. And so I
Yeah.
haven't seen gains in music because I haven't been putting my time there. Is there anything that you want to develop more and improve on more these days?
Just learning new things
Mhm.
in terms of production,
Okay.
in terms of meeting new people. I've not really been doing a lot of connecting much lately, and I kind of want to just get back into connecting with people, just making new friends. Because the last time I did that was probably like months ago, like way long ago. Yeah,
Oh
I've
man.
I've gotten kind of lazy. Like I'm happy with the circle that I have right now,
Yeah.
so I don't go around looking for more. But yeah, speaking of circles,
Yeah.
like Marty and Clem, we're all friends. We're all
Right.
mutual friends, and we're all in the same circle, right?
Mm-mm.
And that track, like me and Marty, we were friends like for a year, more than a year now. And Flam and me, we're friends for like 2, 3 years, I guess. But even way before I made music at all,
Wow.
he DM'd me on Instagram. Yeah, we became friends on Instagram, but he straight up went for like a whole year. And
Uh-huh.
at the start of the year, during COVID, he just messaged me, asked me what's up and stuff like that. And then we became friends all the way until today. We talk every single day.
Oh my
So about
gosh.
that collab, yeah, about the collab, that's like one of the interesting about music and collaboration is that Marty, he sent me the project for the collab, and I worked on it. And then that night I DM, no, I texted them on iMessage, and I was like, "Hey, can you help me with something? I have no more idea for this track. Can you help me produce just a bit, like just the chords and stuff?" And he's like, "Sure thing, just send it in." So I sent him the project. It was just some choir sounds, and I had the drop. I had Marty's drop and my drop. No build up, no anything. It was just some chords in the beginning. He sent me back, that night he sent me back a whole master of the track. Like he mastered the entire thing.
What?
And
You're
it was so
joking.
good. Yeah. I'm not. Like he's like he's a hard worker. Like Flam, that dude, like he's insane. He literally dedicate his life to music, and his music is great.
Oh, that's
So
unbelievable.
dude, and it's good. Like he even has his own drop in there, and I was like, dude, this is supposed to be a collab with me and Marty. It's not. It's not you. But then I DM Marty. I was like, yo, is it fine if we have Flam on board because he practically made the whole
Dude made the
song.
song.
Yeah. And then Marty was like, yeah, sure. And then we set up a group chat, and then it became a 3-man collab.
Oh my
And yeah,
gosh. Dude, that's phenomenal. And that's really just the way it is. I feel like whenever something's gonna work out, like it works out just like that with collaborations
yeah.
generally. The magic happens. That makes me even more excited for the
Yeah.
release of the song though. That's super,
Dude,
super exciting.
you need to check it out. I'm actually kind of excited because when he sent me the track, like when he sent me the drop, the demo, there wasn't any vocal chops on it. And when I had it, I knew that song needed vocal chops. And
Oh
that song,
my
like,
gosh.
it's so sentimental. You guys have to wait for that. It's gonna be on his album.
Oh my gosh. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. All right, man. I think it's about time to wrap it up because I know you got some other stuff that you got to get to. Is there anything else you want to bring up before we go?
Uh,
Wait. You cut out. Say one more time.
Sorry?
Hang on. I think you're cutting out. See you there?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, there we go. We're good, man. We're good. Yeah. Is there
what
anything
do you
else?
say?
Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Um. All right, and there is one thing
Go ahead, man.
is that Benji is one of the nicest person you guys will ever meet, and you guys have to connect with him because he will definitely make your life better.
Man, I appreciate you so much. I love Ilham. You guys have got to check out Ilham because he's just a creative and genuinely great person. I don't even know how long I've known him for. It feels like a long time. It feels like I've known him for like 3 years, but it's definitely not been that long. He's a
Probably
super
10.
probably 10. There we go. It's probably been 10 years. He's just a super genuine guy. I love how creative Ilham is. He's got, creative
Thank
fingers
you.
in everything. It's music, it's fashion, it's art, it's photography. So
No, it's you. It's you.
I'm following your lead is what I'm doing. Oh man, Ilham, thank you so much, man, for making time to sit down and record this
No worries.
conversation. That was so lit,
No,
man.
thank you for having me.
Okay, guys, I'm actually jumping off this call because I want to hear the track he was just talking about. Everybody else has to wait to hear it, but look forward to it. Thank you for watching. Have an incredible night. We will both talk to you soon. Reach out to Inflake, reach out to me. We're always one DM away. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.